News headlines and staying with that developing story in the Southern Cape, the N2 through George has been blocked by protesters since early this morning. Now, the protesters from the Mandela Village Informal settlement near Thembalethu township have been throwing stones at vehicles and preventing people from going to work. There's also been looting of 2 trucks and they've been set alight, as we understand. That's all happening on the N2. And on the line now we have SABC reporter Sphiwe Hobasi to give us the latest on that development. Good morning, Sphiwe, and what has changed since we last spoke?
Good morning to you, Sakina, as well as our viewers. Well, the situation remains tense and volatile out here in Thembalethu. I've managed to sneak out of Thembalethu via a back road. I'm now on the bridge going into Thembalethu on the N2 highway. And then here on the highway, there's 2 trucks that protesters managed to set alight earlier this morning. Now, currently what's happening is that some of the protesters are looting one of the trucks. I've been next to the truck there to see that inside there is some liquor and then there is also some household goods. So the truck is currently burning, but the protesters are digging in between all that rubble and the burning to try and salvage some of those products. So it's a game of cat and mouse between police as well as the protesters, because right now there is a nyala and the protesters have dispersed from next to the truck. But as soon as it goes away, there it is going past me right now. They are now rushing back into the truck again. So it is that game of cat and mouse between them and the truck. But if you look all around in Thembalethu, I can see that the fire is burning everywhere. So police have their hands full this morning trying to bring this protest under control. But at this stage, the situation remains very tense and volatile. And I can also add on that the N2 still remains closed between the Garden Route Mall as well as Parkstop while this protest continues.
Sphiwe, are you getting a sense that this is just a spontaneous protest, or does it seem to have been planned and premeditated?
Well, it was planned. In fact, I knew about this protest from late last night, but it's been coming since last week. Basically, what happened, as I mentioned earlier, that this informal settlement is more or less than a year old, this Nelson Mandela Village. What happened is that in March, they marched to the local municipality, the George municipality, to demand services such as electricity and water and sanitation. And on the 21st of March, it was Human Rights Day. There was a delegation from the mayor's office that visited that area. They did some oversight visits to see what is needed. And then it was agreed that the municipality will try and assist. Now, 2 days later, after that meeting, there was a violent protest. It ended when the municipality made available about 1 million rands of funds to actually put electricity into the area. And then they were also discussing other issues of water and sanitation. How will that be provided? But now, last week, there was a meeting between the residents themselves. We as the media were also invited. And then they were saying that they are disgruntled at this stage because the municipality is dragging its feet in terms of providing those services that were promised. So now that has actually led to this point where we are today. Last night, they then said via social media, galvanized to say that it is on. And what they did, they started from as early as 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. And one of the reasons that they're actually doing that is they know that at that time, police are still caught off guard. And then they are able to get onto the N2, which when that happens, basically the economic, that's an economic sabotage to George, because now, like I'm saying, that the N2 is not functioning, is closed. So that means there is no business going on around in George. And then traffic out of Thembalethu, it is coming out, but in drips and drabs, like I'm saying, that we have to use back roads because the main area has actually been blockaded by burning tires as well as rubble.
Well, thank you so much, Sphiwe Hobasi. And it highlights just so many ills that we are grappling with as a nation. So many people not going to work, and they obviously then have the time, the opportunity there to embark on that sort of action. But what needs to be done to resolve that? We're going to leave it there for your 8:30 news head.